a little different, and probably something we're going to be trying to continue on, but we're going to be looking at week 5, which was this past week of the NFL. So for all you football fans out there, this will be hopefully interesting. Yeah, I got the Bobby Boucher Bourbon Bowl jersey on for this. Was gonna wear the Packer jersey, but I think the hat is enough, because there are some people that hate the Packers, so I'm not trying to piss everyone off. That being said, I've had this idea for a little bit, and I didn't get to start on week 1, so we're starting on week 5, so that's okay. That just means, some of the story has kind of developed in the NFL with all the teams and stuff, so yeah, let's dive right into the first game. We got Kansas City over New Orleans, 26-13. And then we're just on ESPN here. So we'll just kind of go over each game. The Chiefs finally won a game by more than one score. Yeah, offense kind of not what it used to be, or at least this year. That's what it looks like. They haven't been able to get Travis Kelce into the mix very much. But, they're sitting at 5-0. And they just beat a team who has put up 140 points so far this season. And they got Kareem Hunt back. Went off for 102 yards and a touchdown. So, I guess he wasn't done. Especially after all of his, stuff that went down with him. I do have Patrick Mahomes on my fantasy team, and he's been okay. Picked him up with Baker Mayfield, and there were some weeks when I probably should have started Baker. But, big takeaway there, Alvin Kamara, only 26 yards. Now, I don't watch every single game. So, yeah. Okay, so I'm guessing he got hurt. Yeah. Absent from Wednesday's walkthrough. Hip and hand injuries. Yeah, not been crazy effective. But yeah, Chiefs pull one out against the Saints at home. Alright, moving on. We've got Dallas and Pittsburgh. Yeah, that'd be an easy way to do that. No Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, Brandon Cooks start the game. Then losing their top rookie draft picks, Marshawn Newland and Tyler Guyton in the first half. Looks like a gritty win for Dallas there against Pittsburgh, which Pittsburgh has been interesting. Kind of leads you to believe that maybe Justin Fields wasn't the problem in Chicago, and maybe just the coaching around him. Yeah, I'm a little biased because I'm a Packers fan and I hate the Bears. But I don't think Eberflus is the answer over there, so we'll see how well Caleb Williams does. But yeah, a gritty win there, pulling both the Cowboys and Steelers to 3-2. 3-2. Yeah. Rico Dowdle, the running back. Najee is not having a great day. 14 carries, 42 yards. Justin Fields, 2 touchdowns. Smith being kind of the big story over there, making a very Sam Darnold like comeback in his career. You see over there, he was the leading rusher for the Seahawks, as well as being obviously leading passer, but yeah, kind of doing it all there. Daniel Jones, 23 of 34, with 2 touchdowns. And then Tracy Jr. running for 129 yards in that game. Tyrone Tracy Jr. And then Darius Slayton going off for $122. So, yeah, maybe the Giants are starting to turn a corner, but they do have a lot to contend with over there in the NFC East, especially with those Redskins making a resurgence with James Daniels, and then obviously the Eagles, even the Eagles. Let's see, Juan Berkeley. Alright, here we go. Green Bay, Los Angeles Rams. So obviously I watched this game. I watch every Packer game, or at least I try to. This was kind of a hard game to watch. Yeah, I kind of wish the offense would get it together a little more under Jordan Love. Obviously, we had Malik Willis come out and win 2 games for us. And, you know, with some really safe quarterback play, you know, he made some throws. But he also used his legs a lot, which is kind of Malik Willis's thing. But, yeah, dropped 2 with Jordan Love, and then he got his first win of the season in LA, as LA falls to 1-4. The Packers go to 3-2. So Jordan Love with 2 touchdowns and that one terrible interception where he was getting pressured in his own end zone and kind of just flicked the ball towards the sidelines, and instead flicked it into the arms of a Los Angeles Ram. So kind of one of his least smart plays he's done this year, but you know, there's a lot of growth that needs to happen with him. He's obviously still very young. You know, he made a lot of terrible plays last year too before they went on that run to finish out the season. Matt Stafford, Jordan Love threw for 224 and Stafford 260. With the way our defense looked, it kind of seemed like Stafford threw for over 300. You know, he was actually moving the ball pretty well, but just too many drives stalling out. And then obviously Kyron Williams, shifty runner with the 102 on the ground. Josh Jacobs, kind of not been the explosive guy we were hoping for. Yeah, he's had some good plays, obviously. We kind of like to see him get going a little more, maybe a little bit in the passing game too, because that's something we're missing now that Aaron Jones is gone. Obviously, I'm a little biased, so I'm going a little bit longer on this one, but yeah. And then Tucker Kraft having a big game, seeming to be kind of the breakout tight end among the two, with Kraft and Musgrave. So Green Bay goes to 3-2 in a very stacked NFC North. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out towards the end of the year. You know, just hoping we beat the Bears twice, and I'll be happy. Anyway, enough of that. I should really learn to just put one of these in another tab. Oh, going back to that game, sorry. Xavier McKinney with a pick in every game that he's started in this year. So 5 picks, 5 games. Biggest signing in a long time, I feel like, especially for the Packers defense. So, not saying he's the second coming of Charles Woodson, but if he keeps playing like this, maybe he will be. We'll see. Big shoes to fill. Okay. Broncos, Raiders. Broncos winning this one handily, 34-18. Bo Nix, the very sarcastic Bo Nix, 19-27 for 206 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Gardner Minshew with the 2 picks and a touchdown. Only threw 17 times in that game. Yeah, I'm a Minshew fan. I think the dude's hilarious, and I think he's a gamer, but hasn't been very consistent throughout his career. And then, now with Devontae Adams kind of wanting out of Vegas. The Raiders kind of on a big downturn, even not like they were ever, up. But yeah, Denver Broncos 3-2 now, 3-2. Javonte Williams running for 61 yards. Kind of just getting it done through the air in that game. So yeah, the Broncos winning that one. Here we go. We got Arizona winning a gritty win against the San Francisco 49ers. Niners kind of struggling so far in the first half of the season, going 2-3. Brock Purdy, a couple picks in that game. Kyler Murray not faring much better. James Conner though, got James Conner on fantasy, and he's actually been very consistent as a runner, so that's been kind of nice, at least for me. And then Brandon Ayuk finally having a good game here, catching 8 balls for 147 yards. So, and then still losing the game, but step in the right direction there. Despite the Niners having the ball for 5 minutes more in that one, couldn't pull that one out. Arizona won this on a field goal. With a $1:37 left to play in that one, so squeezing one out against the Niners. Alright, I watched a little bit of this one, and I feel bad for Joe Burrow. Baltimore Ravens winning this one 41-38 in a shootout. Lamar Jackson going 26 of 42, completing half of his passes, 348 yards, 4 touchdowns. Joe Burrow more accurate there, 30 of 39 for 392, 5 touchdowns, and then the pick. And then Derrick Henry doing a Derrick Henry thing, is going off for 92 yards and a touchdown. And my fantasy team, wideout Zay Flowers, going for a $111, while Jamar Chase, 2 touchdowns, a huge day for Jamar Chase owners, 193 yards on 10 catches. I read today that Joe Burrow leads in 4 or 5. He leads all the league in like 4 or 5 quarterback stats. Yet he's 1-4. And I think if you look at the Bengals' last 5 games, loss, win, loss. So 16-10, 26-25 to the Chiefs, 38-33, 34-24 was the win against the Panthers, which I think anybody could beat right now. And the loss against the Ravens, defense for the Bengals really letting Joe Burrow down there. So a lot of frustration and fall off after that Super Bowl year for Joe Burrow. Hopefully they can turn around defensively, but dropping 4 out of the first 5 to start the year. It's hard to come back from. It's hard to come back from. So, there we go. We got Houston and Buffalo. As I catch my breath. Houston sneaking one away from Buffalo. 23-20. As Houston goes to 4-1. Buffalo falls to 3-2, still leading the AFC East though, with a very weak division there. And Josh Allen only going 9 of 30 for 131 yards and a touchdown. Just, man, that's got to be frustrating for Bills fans to watch Josh Allen throw 30 times and only complete 9 passes. James Cook going off for 82 yards and a touchdown. Cam Akers, 42 yards and a touchdown. Stephon Problem Diggs catching 82 yards on 6 passes. 6 catches, I should say. I'm very biased against Stephon Diggs because he was in Minnesota to start his career, and he's just been kind of a problem on every team he's been with. So yeah, not a big fan of his, but yeah, CJ Stroud still kind of showing that he's got it, and he was a good signing, a good draft pick for the Houston Texans there. Will be for a while. He's making that Texans team very, very interesting and kind of bringing them back to relevance. And I'm sure J.J. Watt's sitting there, man, I wish this kid was on my team when I was playing there. So, yeah. It'll be an interesting, actually, no, the AFC South is actually pretty weak, too. So, I feel like Houston and Buffalo should have pretty easy times securing those divisions. So, alright, Miami and New England, a couple of dumpster fire teams. Obviously, Dolphins losing to another concussion. Yikes. A lot of people saying he should retire. He hasn't been around very long. So I'm sure that mindset is that he's going to want to come back, but you gotta look at CTE and what's been happening with some veteran players. Like, look at Brett Favre. He's getting diagnosed with Parkinson's. And you can say whatever you want about his actions as of late or post football, but yeah, the hits and the propensity for brain injury is definitely real. Taking all those hits. So yeah, Tyler Huntley, Jacoby Brissett, a couple of semi-journeymen there, kind of been around for a little bit, not very successful careers. Duking it out in this one as the Dolphins sneak a 15-10 win against the Patriots, who are still struggling post Belichick and Brady, and probably will for quite some time, it kind of looks like. So yeah, not much to say about that game other than yawn. But yeah, Tyreek Hill kind of being wasted a little bit on that team currently without a good quarterback. And then they're talking about bringing in Drake May in week 6. So we'll see what happens there. Okay. Jaden Daniels, although house, and boy, you kind of hate to say poverty franchise, but boy, those Cleveland Browns, I think they've been so lackluster and forlorn at quarterback. They saw Deshaun Watson and just pulled the trigger, pulled a $200 million trigger, whatever they ended up giving Deshaun Watson. I don't even know. Don't tell me, because it's sickening. But yeah, Gene Daniels also the leading rusher in that game, 82 yards, 11 carries. Terry McLaurin going off for 112 on 4 catches. So just gonna look at Jaden Daniels' stats. Just crazy, crazy accurate, it looks like. Insanely accurate. It was 77.1% completion. Not much going on in like the TD to interception ratio, but he's just been an accurate thrower of the ball so far. 4 touchdowns, 2 picks, that's him. And I'm sure he, relying on his legs too, a lot. So, real athletic guy. We saw how RG3 ended up in Washington, so hopefully he doesn't suffer that same fate, but he seems a little more built than RG3. RG3 was kind of made of glass, so we shall see. Alright, a team I hate talking about, Chicago Bears. But they got a big win against the Carolina Panthers, and who would have thought? 36-10 at home as the Bears go to 3-2, tied with Green Bay. Down there at the bottom of the division, Caleb Williams going 20 for 29, 2 touchdowns. Andy Dalton, 18 of 28, 136 yards and a pick. And DeAndre Swift finally got him on my team. Finally doing something. Had a bigger game last week, and I didn't start him because he's been not great. And the week I don't start him, he goes off. But still had a pretty solid game. Touchdowns for 3 yards on 21 carries. That's a lot of carries. And then DJ Moore, 5 catches, 105 yards for 2 touchdowns. They're absolutely stacked at wideout. So I think if the Bears don't do something this year, at least make a good playoff push, I think Eberflus is on the hot seat because they have a lot of talent around Caleb Williams. So if they don't get it done with that, who's to say whether or not Caleb is good or bad yet? I think myself as a Packer fan and a lot of the league has kind of been laughing at the Bears for a long time. They've been kind of a laughingstock for a while, especially as a Packer fan. But I think any team can be due to make a turnaround. So I'm hoping this isn't it. But I'm also a realist. I don't think we're gonna own them forever. So at least they're making it interesting right now, which is something we haven't had in that division for a while, especially with Minnesota making this surprise 5-0 start to the season, and then Detroit being kind of consistently competitive with Dan Campbell as their coach. Alright. Jacksonville over Indianapolis, 37-34. Finally getting their first win as the injured Anthony Richardson was out, so Flacco stepped in and just does goodness, 33 of 44, 359 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Just old man Flacco tearing it up. Insanity. You remember all those jokes that went around saying Flacco is elite? Well, maybe he is and was both. Trevor Lawrence having a decent day there too. Probably more than decent, only missed 6 of his passes. Went 28-34 for 371 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Tank Bigsby, 101 carries, 2 touchdowns, just picked him up. Because I am thin on my team at running back with Pacheco being injured. Luckily, I have an IR slot that I threw him into. And then Alex Pierce and Thomas Jr. both having big days there. So Jacksonville steals one there. Jacksonville is one of those teams where I would not mind seeing that team go to a Super Bowl. They came close that one year with Bortles, and they had that insane defense. I was rooting for them that year, but I like rooting for kind of underdog teams, but they've obviously never been there, so. Alright. The Minnesota Vikings, kind of a new team to hate if you're a Packer fan. Is it a fluke? Is a 5-0 start here a fluke? I don't know. I do know Darnold wasn't very solid in that game. But then again, the Jets aren't very solid either. Rodgers having to throw the ball 54 times. 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. Very uncharacteristic of Rodgers. Boy, a lot to unpack for both of these teams. We'll see if the Vikings can stay consistent. I will say one thing about the Vikings, that defense is very consistent. So you see, we shut out the Packers for a while, and we played them that one game, and then we tried to make that comeback. So yeah, real tough. That was a tough game to watch. But yeah, with one thing, I think that defense will stay very consistent, so it could lead to them winning a lot of games this season. And honestly, Justin Jefferson being a very easy guy to throw the ball to. Yeah. And then, Aaron Rodgers, surrounded by talent on that team. Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall, Mike Williams, good guys to throw the ball to there. Is he washed? I don't know. I think he needs more time. He's just coming off an Achilles injury. I wanna root for him. And I do want him to do well. But nice to see him throw together some classic Aaron Rodgers performances. We just haven't seen that yet, or really consistently. So I think it's still early for both these teams to kind of pinpoint where they're going to be. I do think Buffalo wins that division still. Just because, without Miami, without Tua for however long, and then New England just going to be a seller team for a while. So. Okay. We got the Falcons and Bucks both having pretty decent seasons, and so far, and both, I think, finding their guys at quarterback. Kirk Cousins putting another 500-yard performance up in the win at 36-30 at home. 4 TDs in the pick. And then Baker Mayfield having a very good day there. Very efficient day, 19-24, 180 yards and 3 touchdowns. And then Drake London having that big day down there, 154 on 12 catches and a touchdown. I think, it just goes to show. I thought you put Kirk Cousins anywhere, and he's a baller. I think played really well with the Vikings. That was just a team that couldn't get over the hump there. Bijan Robson, just a beast. He was my first round pick. I went with him over McCaffrey because he's pretty injury prone and, well, called that one. Yeah, I mean, I could see the Falcons making a run. Honestly, I could see both of these teams really making a run. I think they're going to be, the way these standings look right now. Atlanta, Tampa Bay, New Orleans, Carolina. I see that reading that way at the end of the season. So it should be interesting to see how the NFC South winner pans out. Obviously, these two teams are going to see each other again, so it should be exciting. Alright, I think that's it for all the games. Obviously, there's a game tonight. I didn't even look who's playing. Who is playing tonight? I just saw it pop up on my... Okay, yeah, Niners Seahawks. So that's going right now. It's the beginning of week 6. So we won't dive too far into that one. That game is still going on. Probably in the next NFL recap video, we'll probably look into that one. But yeah, Jets demote Nathaniel Hackett, and they just fired Robert Saleh. So Jets with a full overhaul there, coaching-wise. A lot of people are saying it's Aaron Rodgers doing, but a lot of people think he's got a lot of power, and he denies it. But who knows? Who knows? I think that's something that we'll probably never really know about, and people will speculate for a while. But yeah. Alright, so that was your NFL Week 5 recap. Hope you guys enjoyed it and found it relaxing and interesting. I'm a big football guy. I don't know everything, and I don't watch every single game. Just kind of a everyday fan breaking down some stuff, but hopefully it was interesting. So I'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, thank you for using the Amazon affiliate link in the description, where I get a small commission at no cost to you. And thank you for joining the official Discord. I'll have that linked below if anyone is interested. And until